Welcome to Karen's Journey. My name is Karen, and if you're new to this channel, this is a channel dedicated to my health journey that I began on September of 2021. So I am quickly approaching the 1-year mark for this health journey. I weighed 230 pounds, pretty close to that when I started. I've lost 50 pounds, and I started this channel in March of this year, 2022. So there was a span of time there that's not documented. But since then, I decided I wanted to challenge myself to stay on top of this, because it's not a diet for me. This is a way of life. It is a lifestyle. I have learned so much. I'm learning so much, and I wanted to share that with everyone and maybe inspire others to do, things that are going to help them be healthy, to realize some of the things we're being told are not true anymore. They're actually motivated by money and organizations motivated by money. And it's just kind of been an amazing learning curve, as well as just a journey of feeling so much better than I was before. Anyway, so for those of you who are new, that's basically what this channel is. And for those of you who are not new and you are currently subscribed, thanks for coming back and joining me. It has been a little bit of time since my last video. About 3 weeks, I think. I had said in that video that I would come back weekly and keep you posted on this monthly challenge that I gave to myself. It's just a personal challenge, which was to not step on the scale and to not take measurements. Because it's not that those things are bad, but the numbers can kind of play with your head. And because they can fluctuate, especially I think at this stage of my journey anyway, it can be discouraging. And so rather than focusing on other things that are happening in my body that are healing, that are just overall a benefit, I get tunnel vision with the numbers. So I decided this month I need to put the numbers aside. I need to focus on listening to my body. And that means checking in with how I feel, not only on a daily basis, but on a moment basis. Checking hunger cues, and just focus on living my life instead of so focused on the weight, the measurements, how I look. It's more about how I feel. So that's been my challenge to myself for this month. And when I first started, like I said, I thought I'd come back every week and let you know how I've been feeling. But I just realized I didn't have a lot to report to you. I mean, what I eat in a meal hasn't really changed. I'm still doing mostly carnivore, and because I just feel like the carbs in the vegetables for me were contributing to my insulin staying at a higher level and not putting me into ketosis. So I wanted to eat things that would help keep my insulin level low and keep me in ketosis. So that's what I've been doing: eggs, bacon, steaks, ground beef, anything of that variety is pretty much what I've been eating. Everything so far has maintained as far as energy level, still great energy level. Sleep is still consistent. I think I had a little bit of a stomach bug for a couple of days, a couple weeks ago, but that was it. It was done. I will confess to you that I have indulged in some desserts a couple times a week. So I'll be interested to see how those might affect the numbers on September 1st. I believe that carbs are bad for us. Sugar is bad for us. Okay. Do I believe it to the point that I can't ever eat it? I don't think I do. Not yet anyway. So, I mean, I've lost 50 pounds, and that's not by totally eliminating sugar and carbs. If I'm honest, it's not been a complete elimination. Majority of what I eat is not sugar and carbs, and that it does include vegetables. Vegetables have carbs. That's well known, and there's some that aren't as high on the glycemic index as others, and I think we've talked about this before. But they do still have carbs. So that all adds in and contributes to desserts. If you're eating vegetables and then you're eating desserts on top of it, carbs are carbs, and carbs turn into sugar in our bodies. It's all the same. Now, obviously, some of the vegetables have more nutrients than desserts will, pastries will. So you will get some benefit that way. But you're still kicking up your insulin. You're still raising your insulin when you eat any types of carbs, whether it's a vegetable, a fruit. Fruit's the same thing. Has even the natural sugar in fruit will raise your insulin, and that prevents your body from using your fat stores and absorbing all the good stuff that it needs to absorb. So, yeah, that's why I've not been eating those things, but I have been eating some desserts. So that's why I say this will be interesting to see what happens with that. I still feel great. My clothes still feel great, still fit great. I don't think that they're fitting any looser yet. I have been, that was the other thing I mentioned, was I was going to keep up on weight training. I was going to focus on building muscle this month, and that's been going really well, really well. I started off doing curls, right? Curls to focus on this muscle here. And I started off, I think, about 10 pounds in each hand, and I would do it separately, 10 reps and 3 sets of 10 reps. Well, I have bumped it up to 15 pounds on each arm, and I can do 2 reps, 2 sets on each arm, about 2.5 sets on each arm at 15 pounds. So that's better. Rows, when you pull it up like this to get these muscles here, the lats, I think they're the lats. I started off 15 pounds, and now I'm up to using 20-pound weights on each side doing that. So it's increasing, which is really, really good. And I can feel the difference. I feel stronger. I've been watching a lot of videos lately. Dr. Sean Baker, Mike Mutzel on high intensity health. He also has some videos out about how you want to make your body a fat burning machine. And what burns fat? Muscle. That's why it's important to build muscle. And that's kind of what I really want to focus on in this video here is I don't hear a lot of people talking about building muscle. They talk about getting healthy is, yes, it is focusing on what you're putting in your body for sure. And it's allowing your body time to digest the food and be able to heal itself in between meals. Yes, absolutely. So intermittent fasting is good, which is another thing I've kind of been focused more on. A couple of times a week, I try and go like longer, like 22, 23 hours of a fast versus just the 16 or 18 hours. And I can feel the difference with that too. because that puts your body into different processes. Autophagy, you've probably heard me say that before, where your body is working to regenerate the cells to heal itself. So that's an important part, and that happens through intermittent fasting, because your body's not working on digesting food, it's working on healing its cells. Makes sense, right? So anyway, back to building muscles. That's why that's just been another focus of mine this month. Building muscle is because I want to be strong. I know that I have more muscle definition, partly because I've lost some fat. So fat cells can sit in between the layers of muscle, okay? And then that kind of disguises your muscles. Once you start to lose those fat stores, then you'll start to see more muscle definition, which is awesome. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're building muscle. There's a difference. So that's been my focus this month. And I also just started a Zumba class. Yes, I always hesitated. It always looked fun to me whenever I saw videos of it, but I just never looked into it and went after it. But I have recently come across a class, and I am taking it with my aunt, and I've been to 3 sessions now, and it's actually pretty fun. It's a lot of work. It's an hour long of moving my body constantly. So it is a challenge. But today was my 3rd class, and I was able to get through the first 3 songs fairly decent. Like, there wasn't a lot of huffing and puffing and like I'm gonna die type of thing, type of thinking going on. So I thought, oh, there's some progress. So it's fun. It's something different to do besides just lifting weights and yoga. Yeah. So if you find a Zumba class, try it out. You never know. You might like it. All right. So overall, I have just been living life. And that's another reason why I haven't really posted any videos, because, there's no increments of goals I'm really doing. I'm looking at. I'm just wanting this to become more and more of a lifestyle that I'm not. It's just something I'm doing like I'm breathing. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I just think we can get too focused on the numbers, on what we look like, versus how we feel, and giving our bodies that time to just heal. It takes time. It just takes time, especially depending on how much you need to heal. It's gonna take time, and we need to just give ourselves that freedom to allow our bodies to heal. So I am listening more to eating when I feel hungry. That's been a little bit of a challenge, I'm gonna say. I think it's another part of how we've been programmed from a young age, schedule, right? I know we did it with our kids. Keep them on a schedule because they do better on a schedule, which is fine. But at some point, I think we need to transition to listening to our bodies. And if we're not hungry, don't eat. And when we are hungry, focus on eating nutrient-dense foods. I think that would be so much better if we started with kids with this type of process. And but because we didn't, and I didn't, it's just a habit of eating at this time and then again at that time. I mean, I'm down to twice a day for the most part, but I'd still like to tweak that some more. I feel like that still needs some work. So, and that's okay. This will go beyond August. It's just, I wanted to take this month and focus on it because I felt like there was still more to explore with that. And I was right. There's definitely more to explore, and I'm going to continue doing that. And keep you posted. All right. So a week from this Thursday is September 1st. I know. Time went by so quick. So that will be the day that I weigh myself and take measurements. And we'll do a comparison of August 1st. We'll compare the numbers. I'll stand up again so you can see body composition. We can see if it's changed at all. It may not. It may not have changed. I definitely feel like I'm at the point in this process where there's a lot going on inside that I just can't see. I'm confident of that. And so if I don't see things on the outside, if I don't see changes on the outside, I need to be confident that I'm still doing the right thing. I'm still, doing what's healthy for my body. And in the long run, it'll all just continue to get better and better. Because like I said, I still feel I have plenty of energy, which is just amazing. I can just tell. I don't know. I wish there was another way to describe that, but it just feels amazing to have so much energy and to be able to look forward to doing things instead of feeling like I just want to sit around on the couch all day. So, yeah. So it's nice. Okay. So that's it. That is all that I have. But I'm sorry I've been away for so long. I have been posting on Instagram. I started doing that, day 1, day 2, day 3, how I'm feeling. But again, it just got kind of monotonous. I felt like there's really nothing new to report. So I stopped doing that. How do I say this? There's a lot of other people doing the same thing I'm doing. And they have YouTube channels, they have Facebook pages, they have Instagram accounts. And so they're posting all kinds of things. And that's fine. Perfectly fine. I just take a different approach. So I hope this is helpful to you still, even though it's a different approach to it all. I figure there's got to be other people out there like me, similar like me. This is how they want to approach their life and social media. So, all right. Well, thanks again for joining me today. And I hope you've been able to focus on your health, focus on your body and getting it healthy, strengthening it, allowing it to heal. I think that's probably one of the biggest takeaways I'm in with this month, that I'm taking away from this month, is that my body is healing and it's fantastic. Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. Speaking of healing, I went walking on the beach twice this month. Weather's not been great, so otherwise I'd be out there more. But twice this month I went walking on the beach and I went barefoot. Now I have collapsed arches, and so I've always had to wear shoes with support. And I bought some special water shoes that have some support in them, and they were working well for a while. But I decided, you know what? I want to just try and walk barefoot. And sure enough, no pain, no muscle spasms, before, during, or after. Well, before I had shoes on, so that doesn't make sense. But during and after, no pain, no aches, no residual, oh, I'm going to pay for that later type of thing. Nothing. Yay. And I was talking to my husband. He's like, well, why do you think that is? And I said, well, I think it's because my body is healing. There's no inflammation anymore. The muscle I'm building, things are getting stronger. So when you do that, to not be in pain, I was telling my daughter, I said, I feel so much younger just for that, for not being in pain. I feel so much younger because I'm not in pain. You just don't realize, I guess, until you're not in pain anymore, how much pain you were in before. So another huge benefit of focusing on this. And so that's what I hope for you, that you'll find. Find that one thing that you can do starting today. One thing you can do. Whether it's going for a walk, whether it's changing what you have for a meal tonight. Of course, by the time you get this posted, you may have already had your meal. So maybe tomorrow, your first meal tomorrow, changing what you eat for just that one meal. Start somewhere and start feeling better, because that's, we can do this. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you next time.